problem I find, living a life that I can't leave behind. There's no sense in telling me the wisdom of a fool won't set you free. That's the way that it goes, it's what nobody knows, while every day my confusion grows.
Can you hear the audio, Mom?
Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees.
Can you hear?
I'm waiting for
Okay. And you can hear my voice? Okay. Working out the details, guys. Always different with this thing. Live television. Does this sound like standard VOR, this format stuff? Get that volume down a little bit. Apparently, every time I do this, I have to put in a new stream key. That seems to be the issue. So, cheers. All right. I can tell you all that I'm a little more stoic tonight than the last one of these shows I did, where I tilted myself off the set. Exit stage left. But that's now. We'll see how I go when I start reading this nonsense. If you haven't seen the video I just released, please go check it out. It's 2 minutes. And I'm dealing with space octopi, octopuses. This is the movie poster that my wife made me. Master artist Chloe. Boy, I'm so used to reverse, it's crazy. So it's a mini feature film. That's kind of what we're doing now. When we're doing these 1 minute, 2 minute pieces here for TikTok, I do... obviously research before, and then I spend all day on it. I go into a hole of just creativity and just work on the video all day. Usually a couple phone calls to the VOR family, a couple meltdowns, and then we print it. So go check it out. It's 2 minutes long, and I cover this nonsense. So if you go see the video, you're going to catch a overview, 30,000, 60,000 foot octopus on a comet flying over the Earth view of what we're going to talk about tonight. Many of you probably saw the video I made a couple days ago with the rafting monkeys, where the monkeys raft from Africa to South America. And this is that same story on a much grander scale. It's like monkeys rafting, and then octopuses flying across space on a comet. The series I'm working on TikTok is basically, you think I believe in a fairy tale? You think I believe in a fairy tale? I'm going to teach you the fairy tale you believe in, evolutionists, atheists. If you saw the debate I had with that guy a couple nights ago, his whole thing was, I believe in fact. And I believe in logic, observable, repeatable science. You have a faith-based system. He called himself skeptical TikToker. Yes, skeptical of God. Yeah, not skeptical of the priests of the religion of science. So we did the rafting monkeys. Then we did the space rafting octopi. We're going to do the multiverse. we're going to get into the soft tissue and dinosaurs. Then we're going to do something called Dino Week. That should be fun, where we look really deep into dinos. Hopefully, maybe next week. I don't know. But anyways, thank you everybody for being here. I love you all. I love that I get to know you. I love that I have an opportunity to do this. I told Chloe today when I was running around the kitchen that what could possibly be more fun in this world than studying scientific advancements that are destroying, just piecemealing, just piece by piece, incrementally dismantling the theory of evolution. It's done. It's done. If you don't know this, the Big Bang is done. Darwinian evolution is done. Their faith-based system is every bit, if not more, fanciful and grandiose than believing that something created this reality. Something I say quite a bit on my live debates is I run the thought experiment of Mario and Luigi in old Super Mario Brothers, where you go through the pipes and you get the coins and you try and get the princess. Always trying to get the princess, well, in this scenario, Mario's just like, it's like the same thing every day. Hey, Luigi, every day it's the same thing. I get the coin, I get the mushroom, I fall in the pit, I get the girl, I fight the Bowser. You ever wonder, Luigi, what is it that we are doing? Why do we do this? Why do we do this, Luigi? How did we get here? Luigi goes, yay, Mario, I know. I feel the same way. I get to the turtle, I get the spiky thing in the foot. Go to the warp to 8, and then tomorrow I do the same thing. What is the point? What are we doing here? So they sit on the edge of a 4-block pixel step, and they're kicking their little, side-scrolling feet, and they go, do you think an explosion happened and blew everything up and here we are? No, Mario, that's a crazy. I think it's someone make us. So good at accents. I think it's someone to make us. Can you imagine? Like, what would they... if they decided to just punt on the idea that there is a reality outside of their Nintendo, there's a reality outside of their Nintendo, that an intelligent mind created them, the idea, the programming, the game console connected to a power grid, if they're not thinking about this, what are they going to come up with? They're going to come up with infinite of universes, rafting monkeys, and flying octopuses. This is what they're going to come up with. And this is what the scientific establishment is teaching. And let me be very clear. If they taught this as, we have a crazy idea, it's crazy, like this is clearly designed. Look at the sun, look at the moon, look at the earth, we're breathing, we're thinking, we're reproducing, we're eating food, we look at the sunset, look at the clouds, look at the blah, 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 blah. Look at the magnetic field, look at the atmosphere that protects us, look at all of this. This is clearly designed. But in case it's not designed, here's an alternative idea. Infinite universes, life coming from non-life, flying octopuses, sea-worthy monkeys. It's fine. It's a fine belief if you want to have that as a belief. And I tell you this, I 100% I 100% support your free will and your freedom to choose to believe this. 100%. I would never report you to anyone, ever, in 1,000 years. I don't care what you believe. I would never say, you believe this, you're stupid. My issue is that they use coercion, misinformation, pseudoscience, and bullying. I think I got the cat hair. Intellectual bullying to force you to believe their belief. And of all of the hypocrisy and ironies ever, they tell you that what you believe is garbage and what they know is fact. That's the debate I had with that guy on Tuesday. And they teach the children as fact. They teach your children as fact. I know because I was a children and they taught it to me as fact. And I filled out the books. 300 million years ago, blah, 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 blah. It happens. I'm engaging with a guy on here who's a biology teacher, and I'm kind of going back and forth. He teaches children, young adults, whatever, shaping their minds. And if they presented this, and I know there's teachers that do, as a theory, hey, we got to leave God out of everything because things get weird. I get that. So here's an idea, okay? Think for yourself. I wouldn't have this fight. Maybe I wouldn't even have a job, so maybe it's good that they're like this. But if we can, and I intend to do this with the work that I'm doing and with the support and with other people doing this, if we can get to a place where they more clearly, apparently my ringer's off and something happened in football. Get that muted. Do-do-do, your team sucks. Okay. My fantasy teams are always bad. Okay, so if we can get to a point where they just they teach it as an option, and they better delineate or demarcate, this is fact. You know, people say all the time, "I can't believe you don't believe science and you're on a cell phone. You're so stupid." Yeah, well, I do believe in science. Operational science is awesome. Physics is awesome. Quantum physics is awesome. Genetics is awesome. Origins and how we got here before we could ever know and ever reproduce the Big Bang or the creation of life or whatever. These things are just beliefs, and they need to be taught as beliefs. And something that comes to mind, and then I'll get going on this, is in 2011, a high school in Dover, Connecticut, I believe, somewhere up here, because of Michael Behe's book, Darwin, I think, what was it? But it was about irreducible complexity. I don't remember the name of the book. I thought it was Darwin's Black Box. That's the book. He, as a whatever, I'll say nanobiologist. That's not it, but the biologist, somebody who studies the very small components of life, was using the bacterial flagellar motor, and he basically said that it's irreducibly complex, meaning you've got a status, a rotor, axle, all the things you need. It's basically an outboard motor, like what you'd have on a trolling boat, like a pontoon boat. And he says this thing would have spontaneously come into existence. Well, the secular world lost their mind. The ACLU got involved. There was a trial, and I'm going to cover it here on TikTok and on YouTube, called the Dover trial, where intelligent design was put on trial. And it was determined that intelligent design is non-science, and if anybody ever speaks about it ever again. How did this happen? The school in Dover put that book, this is all they did, they took Behe's book and they put it in the school library. You could check it out. You can read fantasy books. You can read, I'm sure there's a bunch of much more progressive things in the libraries currently, I hear. And they put a sticker in the biology textbook, and it said, "The theory of evolution is only a theory, and there are other alternative theories for the origin of man. And if you are interested, there is a book you can rent in the library." That's it. So they say you have to believe in the theory of evolution. You will, you must, you do. You will teach it. No one will question us. We are the priests, and you will not question us. We all know that transparency is invited in truth. If you're truthful, you just whatever you want to do. If you're hiding stuff, you have to censor people and silence people, etc. Well, all they said is it's a theory, which is still a theory. I had a guy on my comments yesterday said that it's a fact, the fact of evolution, and somebody else said it was as much of a fact as 2 + 2 = 4. Meanwhile, you put up a competitive hypothesis, and you lose your job, you lose your tenure, you're laughed out of the room, you're ostracized from science, you don't get funding, you're done. You try and do this in a high school setting, and the ACLU is at your throat, and you have a legal battle. American Civil Liberties Union. Just like Lyle said, freeing science from that dastardly Moses. Okay, so I dream of a day where they clearly put it as a theory and all potentialities are available. And until that day, I'm going to use this platform to show the world, as many people as I can show, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. We have over 20 million views right now. That their theory is on shaky ground. Okay? The theory is a belief system with a ton of assumptions. It has been proven wrong over and over. They have used literal forgeries that they've been caught in. Piltdown Man, Nebraska Man, Haeckel. I'm going to cover those as well. And today, they are coming up with stories like octopuses that fly across the universe and come to Earth on a comet. Teach the whole story, man. Teach the whole story. Yeah, we believe in rafting monkeys and infinite universes and infinite realities and flying octopuses. Teach that and I'm good. I'm good. And then let the kids decide, hey, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Comets, the Oort cloud, soft tissue and dinosaurs. I might get into this tonight. I'm going to get into this. I'm breaking off of what I plan to do. No surprise there. But I got to show you guys this. This is what we're looking at here. And I didn't want to cover this. All right. Thank you guys for checking on that. I think I know what I have to do. I have to add my microphone. That would make sense, right? Audio input capture, add existing Yeti, go. Okay. Let me know. Do I have my sound again? We should have sound. Chloe, let me know if you hear sound. Octopuses came from the Oort cloud. Are we good? Can we hear me? All right, cool. Thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me know. Microphone check 1, 2. What is this? Okay. This is coming. There is a wave of information coming that is going to so thoroughly devastate the theory of evolution and secular science that they're already in political spin damage control. You guys, have you ever heard of a dinosaur with fully intact skin? A dinosaur, a mummy dinosaur with skin. Because a few years ago it was, whoa, we found soft tissue inside of the center of the dinosaur bones, cross-linking. How would you feel if they had fully preserved, basically, almost could be your pet dinosaurs? That'd be weird, right? Not real. Yeah, real. I mean, I'm not going to engage too much with the trolls, but this is the Smithsonian, okay? The Smithsonian is the National Natural History Authority, funded by the federal government. Yeah, and donors. It's sticky. It's not just by the federal government, but there's grants from a lot of highfalutin money bags. But it's certainly an arm of the federal government. Not an arm of. I know I'm going to get... let me get my facts straight. It is in cooperation with the federal government, including funding there. Rare mummified dinosaur formed in an unexpected way. So here's what they're going to do, okay? They're done with their whole, like, we think it was cross-linking. Is this cross-linking? Maybe not. I mean, don't ask any questions. They're going to go full propaganda. Goebbels, Bernays, anti-truth. And I started saying this about 6 months ago. Watch this. The prehistoric reptile's skin may have been preserved by scavengers. Anti-truth. The skeleton of a 70-million-year-old hadrosaur dinosaur, blah, 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 the same as a specimen. When paleontologists unearth a dinosaur, they're usually digging up bones from its skeleton. In rare cases, though, the animal's soft tissues, such as skin, are also intact. Scientists had thought these mummified fossils could only form if the organism was buried quickly after death. Remember the conversation I had with the guy on Tuesday about how our fossils, and we talked about the mud ski area, whatever he had in his backyard. Basically, they would get rapidly covered in sediment, and that would preserve them, and then they would premineralize. Scientists had thought these mummified fossils could only form in organisms buried quickly after death or preserved by dry surroundings. But new research, wait till you see the research, suggests another way that a dinosaur mummy could be created. There used to be an assumption that in order to get a mummy, you absolutely had to have rapid burial. Absolutely. What would rapidly bury a fossil? Windstorm. Tornado, windstorm. No, flood. A wave of mud water. But new research suggests another way that a dinosaur mummy could be created. There used to be an assumption that in order to get a mummy, you absolutely had to have rapid burial. They're going to keep saying that over and over. Now, scientists have been studying, now fossils have changed their mind. They've been studying the fossilized remains of a duck-billed dinosaur that appears to have done the opposite. It died in a wet place and lay out in the open for some time. Still, the specimen's limbs and tail are covered with large areas of preserved skin. In the paper published Wednesday, the researchers hypothesize that scavenger activity while the dinosaur's body was still exposed might have actually helped save the skin. Okay. I'm going full Elmer Fudd in my backyard, and I'm trying to take out this red chipmunk, red squirrel. They get in your house. They're nightmares. And if I assure you that if I take him out, the scavengers will not protect his body. Okay? Anti-truth. Saved his skin. Might have helped save the skin. The findings suggest they're... Ready for this? You guys ready for what's coming here? The findings suggest that there might be more well-preserved dinosaur soft tissues buried in the ground than scientists previously thought. They are sitting on, I bet you they're sitting on absolute loads and loads and loads of fully intact dinosaurs. Exciting discovery. Gives us a new perspective on how soft tissue preservation may have occurred in dinosaurs. The well-preserved remains from this species, a specimen nicknamed Dakota. Ready for this? If you're not mad. Which was unearthed on a ranch in southwestern Dakota in 1999. I think I'm going to move my computer because it's really loud. Hold on. Hopefully this works. I probably shouldn't. It's too dangerous. Sorry. You just have to deal with the fan sound. Because if I move that, I could lose connection again. 1999, okay? This is the year The Matrix was released. This was 2 years before 9/11. They've been sitting on a fully preserved dinosaur mummy for 23 years. It's going to be real damn hard to convince the world that your chicken was a T-Rex 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's going to be a tough sell. The skin itself is very deep brown, almost brownish black, and it actually has a bit of shine to it because it has so much of that iron in it, that cross-linking iron. You know, we know we got a lot of that iron in it from the fossilization process. It almost looks like it's glittering. Did you guys want to hear, I don't know, about the glittering dinosaur skin that they've been sitting on for 23 years? Seems like kind of a big deal to me. I can assure you that if they found something like this that was a transitional fossil or something like that, you'd have heard about it. But the whole, evolution is done, dinosaurs were here, they probably died in the flood, that's not going to get out. Thanks, Smithsonian, for your transparency. Thank you for your integrity. Thank you for your scientific integrity, your rigorous skepticism, and defending the truth. Because, hey, I mean, if there's anything that we got to do, it's teach these kids they're animals, right? Am I right? Okay. Dakota's skin has bite marks on it that indicate the animal's remains were scavenged by multiple types of carnivores. The kinds that bite you to save you. The saving, biting kind. Still, Drumheller Horton hadn't figured out how the skin was so well preserved. But then she realized that Dakota's deflated skin reminded her of something she'd seen in forensic literature. Mummified remains of humans and mammals. Things that died very recently. This is weird and unexpected, right? This is, you guys following my work and other apologists' work. We're on the cutting edge of science that is destroying a 200-year-old paradigm. I'm going to read a quote here in the abstract of the paper I'm going to read. I don't know why this is so bright. Take that down a level since it works, whatever. We are observing in real time. You know that I've been saying this for a while now, that the theory of evolution is done, that materialism is done, it's on life support, and it's kept on life support by the priests of the religion of science. Okay, that's true. I believe that very thoroughly. There's a wave of information coming where I assure you, if there is any integrity in this world, any justice, I know we're seeing iniquity abound, just like Yeshua said. We are coming into and we're going to cross into a Rubicon where they're going to go, I can't believe we thought that. I can't believe we taught that. Like flat earth, it's going to be like that. They're going to be like, why did we teach that? I don't know. What were we doing there? What were we doing? The person says, LOL, not even close to true, only quacks deny evolution. Whack, 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 whack. I am a quack, certified, right here. Certified quack. And I will assure you, your shallow ad hom attacks aren't going to get under my thick dinosaur scales. I love it. It's like fuel for me. And when we're right, and we will be, you'll remember me, and you'll go, holy shit, that guy was right. That's crazy. That guy was crazy. Just been listening to that guy. Okay. Remember when I was doing the Big Bang thing, and they were going, this is really weird. This is not at all what we expected. This isn't at all what we expected. We expected fully formed galaxies. It's like everything we thought was wrong. And then I did the mitochondrial Eve dating with the chromosome, the molecular clock, and they ran the numbers, and it was 6,500 years, and they went, this is weird. This isn't at all what we expected at all. This isn't fit at all what we're trying to do. This is totally wrong. It's like we're totally fucking wrong. But we're not wrong. But we're not wrong. TikTok, please don't ban me again. I wish I could invite you onto a live, and I hope that you will join me afterwards. I am reading from the Smithsonian magazine, The Defenders of Natural Science. Okay? The video that I just made about the octopus, that's Science magazine. That's, who else do I have on here? A peer-reviewed paper, New Scientist. Who do you want? Like, I don't know who I know the resources are only valid when it says the thing you want, but this is Smithsonian magazine. You should look it up. They're peer-reviewed. They're certified. Okay, continuing. This is weird and unexpected. If you've only read the paleontologic literature dealing with mummies, you don't expect this. But it's really in line with the forensic anthropological literature. Forensic anthropologic literature are things that you study with something that has more recently died, that you skin, tissues. You think about forensics, right? Like CSI, like somebody died on scene. Somebody died recently. What did they die of? How did this happen? This doesn't end. You don't expect to see what they're seeing in paleontology. All the organic material should be long gone, but instead it's a fully preserved mummy dinosaur, and they can't figure it out. Scavenging of human and mammalian remains can create pathways through which liquids and gases can escape the corpses, enabling the skin to dry out and become preserved. There it is. The scavengers let the air out of the balloon. Went down, boom, mummy skeleton. Mummy dinosaur. No reason. They're not young. We're going to see a lot of them. Balloon popping scavengers. Instead of all that stuff sticking around inside the body, keeping it wet, pushing that decomposition along, it's now out of the way, they said. The new paper makes a strong case that Dakota was out in the open for a while before burial. Though the research reveals a new way for mummified dinosaurs to exist, what if you just said, what if they were here more recently? What? Is it really good science? TikTok, please don't ban me, and all my other atheist secular friends. Is it really good science to find something that totally contradicts what you believe and then try to figure out a way to force it into your model? Is that good science? Maybe I don't understand science. I feel like that is, having a conclusion and then manipulating the data to fit your worldview. To me, you go, could you imagine them saying, what if we were wrong? Nope. Okay, so, and please, atheist, TikTok, don't ban me. Stick around for the octopus thing. You're going to love this. You're going to love it. Mummified dinosaurs to exist. Well, such well-preserved skin might not be too common. I still suspect that this actual process is a very precise sequence of events where if you get the timing wrong, you end up without a mummy dinosaur. Science. Okay. The thing I actually wanted to teach on, I'm 40 minutes in, is scientists suggest octopuses might actually be aliens. Here's the problem, okay? I've talked about the Cambrian explosion. If there is a death knell for evolution, there's a dozen at this point. The Cambrian explosion is one of them. You have very rapid, advanced speciation in a very short amount of time. There's something called punctuated equilibrium, which I think they should have stuck with. And now they've got way too many chips in on this natural selection thing, but Huxley, who pushed Darwin, and I would never defend Huxley, but I'm kind of doing that here. Thomas Henry Huxley, who defended Darwin and actually helped get his story out, he didn't believe Darwin. Okay, they used to fight about this. Huxley said there had to be rapid evolutionary mutational steps, progressions, punctuated equilibrium. Natural selection, I don't like it. It doesn't have the explanatory power necessary. But, hey, looks like people are buying the shit, so let's just go with it. Let's go with it. So he pushed it. But anyways, he didn't even believe it. They needed to stick with that model. Just like I think with 9/11, they would have been better off sticking with Osama rigged the building up with demolitions equipment instead of trying to just pull off that the jet fuel brought it down. But anyways, they're too far in on this thing. They got way too much to lose, so they're just going to keep doubling down, like in a poker hand. All my money. Call my wife. All my other money. I'm not going to lose this hand. Octopuses. Octopi. I think it should be, but whatever. They're chameleons. They're shapeshifters. They're shape-shifting chameleons with 3 hearts and 12 brains. Maybe 8 brains. Something. More than 1. More than 6. Less than 20. Is that how Cliff won in Jeopardy? Okay. They have unbelievable eyes, the ability to see with them. They're playful. They're ingenuitive. They have no protection, so they're like more intelligent and more adaptive. It's just these things would be the absolute height of the food chain, except for we're above them because God gave us dominion, whatever. But evolution has no answer for this thing. Not me, the octopus. No answer for this thing. So, critical thinking scientists are trying to come up with a new solution. And the new solution is aliens, extraterrestrials. Which, if you've studied Genesis 6 and you've studied, this idea that they're potentially working for the enemy's side, the idea that they are our creator and our savior is very much in line with their modus operandi. Okay. Scientists suggest octopuses might actually be aliens. This is a good start. Normally, when you see a story about someone claiming that aliens are hanging out here on Earth, its origins can be traced to a misguided conspiracy theorist or crackpot ranting on YouTube. I'm too crackpotty for YouTube. I'm like a way more extreme crackpot. I'm like a meth pot on TikTok because YouTube won't even have me. Anyways. So when an international group of actual scientists releases a report theorizing the existence of an alien species living right under our noses, it's worth a look. Remember, conspiracy theorist crackpot, not worth a look. Actual scientists, worth a look. I say tomato, they say tomato, and they say tomato's misinformation. They say tomato is a Nobel Peace Prize. Welcome to the control of information. Welcome to the Thunderdome, as Neil deGrasse Tyson would put it. Thank you, Lex. I love you too. I mean, I could just read this paragraph just all day and just get a fancy off it every time. The paper, which was published in Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology, attempts to tackle the question of how life originated here on Earth. I couldn't get into it in my 2-minute video, but big surprise, this paper about the flying alien octopuses is actually an origin of life paper. That's the big M. Night Shyamalan twist here. Because they have no idea where life came from. They have no idea where life came from. They told you they did, and they were lying to your face. And you're probably pissed off about it, but you can't be had. You can't be had. You're too smart. You're too smart. You wouldn't believe a blatant, flagrant lie that was totally counterintuitive. Therefore, you're going to get behind the thing that you were taught because it's a lot easier than just admitting that you were had. Stockholm Syndrome. Wait till we read this paper. How did I ever do this show for an hour? Remember that? We did that on the YouTube channel. The paper, which was published in Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology, attempts to tackle the question of how life originated here on Earth. The researchers embrace a number of proposed explanations and discuss their implications, but one particularly interesting note is their proposal that cephalopods, squid, octopus, and cuttlefish, may have originated somewhere other than Earth. Whoa. I think I nailed that punctuation. Evidence of the role of extraterrestrial viruses in affecting terrestrial evolution has recently been plausibly implied in the gene and transcriptome sequencing of cephalopods, the researchers write. The genome of the octopus shows a staggering level of complexity. With 33,000 protein coding genes. That is with 33,000 protein coding genes more in addition to what is present in Homo sapiens. The scientists challenged the belief that modern cephalopods evolved to their present form here on Earth and proposed the possibility that those we see today are the descendants of creatures that arrived on Earth frozen in an icy comet. Its large brain and sophisticated nervous system, camera-like eyes, flexible bodies, instantaneous camouflage via the ability to switch color and shape are just a few of the striking features that appear suddenly on the evolutionary scene. How long do you think it would take to evolve the ability to become a chameleon shapeshifter like Rogue and Nightcrawler? How long does that take? To literally be able to change your shape of your body and color to turn into a whatever. I'm a transformer. I'm a car. I want to evolve that. Please, everyone, think about that. I want to evolve shape-shifting and chameleon abilities, okay? We need to really think about that. That would really help us. That would be very advantageous. The paper, pointing to the possibility that this great leap forward in complexity was due to cryopreserved squid and or octopus eggs crashing into the ocean on comets millions of years ago. Let's go to the paper, then we'll read about this. Here's the paper, y'all. This is, I'm giving a trigger alert. I'm giving a me trigger alert. You guys, you know what we need is like if you guys were like drinking people, you could do like a drinking game whenever Luke gets triggered. It'd be very successful if the intention was inebriation. We review the salient evidence consistent with or predicted by Hoyle, Wickramasinghe. So I'm just going to call that HW from now on. I just don't know. My brain doesn't put that word together. It does not make a coherent word. Thesis of cometary cosmic biology. I'm sure you guys know this, but it's a theory that life came from comets, which is where the water came from, which is where everything. There's two heroes in the plot of evolution and secular reality. Well, there's like three. There's the multiverse, but the big ones are the big heroes are comets and time. If you guys don't know, we have God of the Gaps. They have comets and time. And if they have enough comets and enough time, it's all going to work itself out. You can't ever test the comets and you can't test the time, so pretty good hedge right there. Much of this physical and biological evidence, wait to hear their evidence later, is multifactorial. One particular focus are the recent studies which date the emergence of the complex retrovirus of vertebrate lines at or just before the Cambrian explosion of before 500 million years ago. Such viruses are known to be plausibly associated with major evolutionary genomic processes. Plausibly associated. Okay. We believe, nice that they actually say believe, this coincidence is not fortuitous, but is consistent with a key prediction of HW theory, whereby major extinction, diversification, evolutionary boundaries coincide with virus-bearing cometary bolide bombardment events. You guys getting that? Cometary bolide bombardment events. A lot of comets. Not one comet, a lot of comets with a lot of life. This one really got me going here. A second focus. Oh, Jesus, help me. Chloe literally praised God this morning for coffee, and I couldn't agree more. Okay. A second focus is the remarkable evolution of intelligent complexity cephalopods, culminating in the emergence of the octopus. Okay, here's the deal. We know some viruses showed up. We know comets hit. We think that the viruses came on comets, and we think viruses are like totally causing this thing. So we need the viruses. This is coming. The second thing we need to look at here is we have no fucking idea where these octopuses come from. We have no idea. There's no idea. Planet Peterson said, "You're strawmanning me. I don't believe this." And I said, "Well, what do you believe? Really, what do you believe?" He said he's going to make a video on it, so I'm excited. I hope he really spends his time and tells me the way that he, as a kind of ranking boots on the ground soldier in the scientific field, the information he has that's much higher than these 30 scientists who are studying this, because they go, "Yeah, we got nothing. That didn't happen. It was not evolution. There's no way." So something happened. So the second focus is the remarkable evolution of intelligent complexity culminating in the emergence of the octopus. There is so much intelligent complexity in the octopus, it's like something with an intelligent mind designed it. And we just can't figure it out because we know it wasn't that. This thing is so intelligently designed, it looks like it was intelligently designed. But we know that wasn't it. So, aliens. Just like Richard Dawkins. Aliens. Infinite amount of universes, infinite amount of realities, aliens, comets, time. And we believe in a fairy tale. And we invoke the God of the Gaps. My first debate was with Jackery, who's on here. He's got 350,000 followers or something, that may be 500,000. Really cool kid. I really like him. I was probably out of my league going in with him, but it's one of my first debates on my YouTube channel. If you want to go see one of the first debates, the first public professional debate I did was with Jackery. And we hashed out all of these things, and finally, eventually, he basically was like, maybe the universe is sentient, whatever. There's got to be some answer to it. You know, there's these problems are there's so many of these issues that when you take the aggregate of them and then you present them to somebody like Jackery, and he says, God of the Gaps, you're using God of the Gaps. And in the argument I said, and you're using science of the gaps. There's no difference. We run out of our threshold of understanding, and I invoke my bias, you invoke your bias. With science of the gaps. Okay. The third focus concerns the microorganism fossil evidence contained within meteorites, as well as the direction in the upper atmosphere of apparent incoming life-bearing particles from space. Yes, it rains life from space. We don't know where life comes from. It just rains it from space. In our view, the totality of the multifactorial data and critical analysis assembled by Fred Hoyle. Hoyle is a big deal. Fred Hoyle is a big deal. Chandra Wickramatham and their many colleagues since the 1960s leads to a very plausible conclusion. Yes, this is not new. There's nothing new under the sun. This is just a fancy panspermia. And they've had ballistic panspermia, which is also what this is. They just kind of retell these things. They always say we're going to figure it out, just trust us, carrot on the stick, and then they just reinvoke the same ideas over and over. Life may have been seeded here on Earth by life-bearing comets as soon as conditions on Earth allowed it to flourish. Because if they came before, it would have been a null value. And if it came later, we wouldn't have had enough time. Okay? If the life-bearing comets came 100 million years ago, they're done. They're not going to get the diversity. They already say they have fossils of things that are 500 million years old. Had to be a long, long time ago. They know the Earth came 4.5 billion years ago. They had about a window there. 500,000 years or something. Thankfully, fortuitously, the life spray that science, that space just seeds us with came at the right time. Life may have been seeded here on Earth by life-bearing comets as soon as conditions on Earth allowed it to flourish. About or just before 4.1 billion years ago. And living organisms such as space-resistant and space-hardy bacteria, viruses, and more complex eukaryotic cells fertilized ova and seeds have been continuously delivered ever since to the Earth. So being one important driver of further terrestrial evolution, which has resulted in considerable genetic diversity and which has led to the emergence of mankind. This is why Dawkins said it. This is like whatever you want to believe about origin of life. Okay, if you think if you think a bunch of highly intelligent individuals buying packaged pre-biotic, pre-amino acid assembly units, chemical assembly units, and them putting them in exactly the right thing, controlling all the variables and sparking them and pulling the oxygen out and just, manipulating all of these things and just meddling with it and getting some light amino acid. If you think this is origin of life, just know that they actually have no idea. And if you think they know, research James Tour, research, let's see, who else is good at origin of life? I mean, you can watch him and Professor Dave's, he's like Bill Nye of YouTube, debate. It's multi-videos, very high-level science information. But they I actually have one, maybe I'll have Dan have you post it to Discord that he shared with me, James Tour, going over what the actual leading origin of life people are doing. It's all magic, song, and dance. Nothing's coming out of this. So they have to look at space because they're not going to make life out of non-life. They're not going to pull a software code out of lightning and helium or whatever they're trying to do. So yes, this octopus deal, this octopus space alien deal is actually having to do with the emergence of mankind. Okay. So as a content creator and as a former musician, I don't know if you're ever a former musician, but so I don't, whatever, as a musician that doesn't music anymore, when we used to go on stage, I would want the song that played before we went on stage to be the palate cleanser. I would want to put it the audience and myself in a mood, the band in a mood. When I make content, I listen to certain music when I'm doing. This is something you do to kind of get in the spirit of the thing you're doing. Try to get in the feel of the energy you plan to emote, the emotion you plan to send out, not energy. Sorry. So this guy writes in this article, the historian of science may be tempted to claim that when paradigms change, the world itself changes with them. These are just some random quotes as their inspiration of doing this. The historian of science may be tempted to claim that when paradigms change, Juju Man, don't leave if you're I think you're an atheist. Stick around. I need you to read this. I'll try to be less fanciful. The history of science may be tempted to claim that when paradigms change, the world itself changes with them. Very important. The historian of science may be tempted to claim that when paradigms change, the world itself changes with them. Yes. When you have a paradigm change, it changes the world because what people believe matters, and what they believe, they put into action, okay? The secular thing, we're in the 5th generation of it. Just wait another couple generations, see where this is going. And they're going to have to hard suppress the paradigm change that's coming, that we're an information-based reality built around the consciousness of man. When presented with uncanny survival attributes of the tardigrades, a friend exclaimed, "How on earth did they evolve?" I don't know what that was reference to, but this is so important. This is so very at the base level. I put it in my James Webb Space Telescope. I put this in a lot of my arguments. The idea that in the whole universe, life is unique to the Earth is essentially pre-Copernican, before they discovered that it was a heliocentric solar system. Experience has now repeatedly taught us that this type of thinking is very likely wrong. Why should our infinitesimal niche in the universe be unique? Just as no one country has been the center of the Earth, so the Earth is not the center of the universe. Let's get our secular mood set. Let's do our affirmations. Remember, you are worthless. You are meaningless. The universe is an accident. You are an accident. You don't mean anything. At best, you're an evolved animal. Now, I can do good secular science. Here we go. Okay. Good to see you, Jess. Thank you for being here, sister. Purpose of article. This review article is intended to represent in the main the collective knowledge and wisdom of over 30 scientists and scholars, which are being totally blasted. I'm taking a bunch of atheists in this video, and they're like, "We don't like these scientists. They're crazy crackpot conspiracy theorists because they say something that I don't like. They should be silenced." Many disciplines of the physical and biological sciences. We review much of the key experimental and observational data gathered over the past 6 years, consistent with or predicted by the Hoyle HW thesis of cometary cosmic biology. We are acutely aware, I'm not going to read this whole paper, I got about another couple paragraphs. We are acutely aware that mainstream thinking on the origin and further evolution of life on Earth is anchored. The word is anchored. We are acutely aware that the mainstream thinking of the origin and further evolution of life on Earth is anchored firmly in the terrestrial paradigm. Our aim here is to facilitate further discussion in the biophysical, biomedical, and evolutionary science communities. You see the connection here? Do you guys understand this paradigm shift thing? Our aim here is to facilitate further discussion in the biophysical, biomedical, and evolutionary science communities to the quite different HW cosmic origins viewpoint, which better handles, this is what I love, which better handles, in our opinion, a wider range of physical, astrophysical, biological, and biophysical facts. The word is facts. That it better handles the facts. Don't you want to be under a scientific complex where the facts don't get in the way of the science you're doing? Seriously, how can I say that any more clear than that? Don't you want to be where you don't have to convince the biophysical, biomedical, and evolutionary science communities of a viewpoint which better handles physical, astrophysical, biological, and biophysical facts? Often quite inexplicable, unexplainable, irreconcilable, if not contradictory, under the dominant terrestrial neo-Darwinian paradigm. I could be done right there. I'm going to go now. You guys make what you want of that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to rant on this. Do you remember, if you haven't seen the James Webb Space Telescope video that I did, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching it on TikTok, go to the link tree, go to the bio, go to YouTube, go check out my video on YouTube before this one. I covered the James Webb. It was about a month ago. And they're saying the same exact things. The pictures that we are seeing of what should be the beginning of the universe is showing a fully mature, fully formed universe. It contradicts our belief. Do you remember that? They're saying astrophysical, which is the physical bodies of space. When are you going to give up? This is what I'm really asking for. I hope this is reaching a young person who can make a difference. I hope this is reaching somebody, Jas, Simon, Peterson, AT, whoever. You're being lied to, okay? The data doesn't support the theory. I don't care that you think that Lucy is the 3'8" human transitory fossil. I don't care that you think that. You could make an argument that she was just a chimp. I don't care that you think that the multiverse is going to bail you out of this, or many worlds, or panspermia. The theory is shit. It's wrong. Okay? Giants and dragons and the flood, the biblical narrative, quantum physics, the delayed double slit experiment, the Wigner thought experiment, non-locality, quantum entanglement, DNA. Watson and Crick, when they figured out the DNA, everything they're going to find, dinosaur mummies, it's done, and it's okay. It's okay that it's done. Be a good scientist and come up with another scenario, another theory, something that's better. And we already have it. These guys are actual scientists, right? Jast and all these people want to say, Sebastian Cole comes on and he goes, where's the young Earth creation papers? Well, these guys aren't young Earth creationists, but they're saying something that the scientific consensus doesn't agree with. And so what are we getting? These guys are just, he said literally, these guys are just as crazy as you, Luke. Well, I doubt that, number one. Number two, just because somebody says something you don't agree with, it doesn't make them crazy, okay? You were taught to think that way in the indoctrination that you suffered in your education. And I'm sorry, we were all subjected to it. We trusted those people. They taught you that if you question the teacher, you get an F, period. It's okay. And we need to question the system because it's broken. It's broken, okay? Maybe it's God. Maybe it's God of the Bible. Maybe it's a simulation. Maybe it's aliens. I don't know. I know what I believe. But the system generated narrative is wrong, okay? And all of the data, now that their instrumentation is getting better, all of the data says contradictory to the theory. And instead of going, we were wrong, they're doubling down. It's insanity. I know this isn't true, but I've heard this so many times in my life. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I understand that's not the definition, but it surely is a bad practice. It is a bad practice. If you're doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. And if you don't like the result, change it. Okay, here we go. The cosmic origin viewpoint, which better handles, in our opinion, a wider range of physical, astrophysical, biological, and biophysical facts, often quite inexplicable, if not contradictory, under the dominant terrestrial neo-Darwinian paradigm. You understand that a democracy is mob rule, right? This is democratic mob rule. And I'm not talking about a political affiliation. I'm talking about herd mentality and groupthink. So yes, I totally don't agree with this, but please do the research on the paper. Ad hom attack. Grow up. Look at it. I disagree with it, but look at it. It's okay. Look, be honest with yourself about what you have on your paradigm and admit that it could be wrong and it's okay and you were had. Okay. I don't know if I've read much more of this. Yeah, I don't know. here's where I'm going to go with this next part. We're going to do a thought experiment, okay? I'm a big believer in thought experiments. And I think I can actually wrap this up fairly quickly, although I might cover the monkey rafting a little bit. I don't know. Here's what they're teaching. Oh, maybe it is on here, actually. Let me see if it's actually on here. Sorry. Cambrian explosion, key predictions, HW theory, major boundaries, or microorganisms, more complex eukaryotic systems take hold. In our considered view, the multi-territorial conditions flourish. This process, since the time of Lord Kelvin and Svante, whoever has the scientific name panspermia, perhaps the most important astronomical data relevant to the theory of cosmic life to emerge the past decade. Exoplanets. Oh, yeah, this is good. Perhaps the most important astronomical data relevant to the theory of cosmic life to emerge in the past decade are the detections of habitable exoplanets. It's like, what do you have for data? Well, there's planets. Anyways, the paradigm shift is critical at this point. I'm trying to get to the thing where it says that it actually comes here. I found that earlier, how they came here. Cosmic theory of life. Conditions of liquid water. Earliest terrestrial life. Origin of life. Wow. I need to research this whole thing. But anyways, rather than do that, because I didn't read much further down on that, this is what I do want to read. We're going to do a thought experiment, and it's kind of what I covered in the TikTok video. Not kind of, it is. And it's what this scenario of the octopus migration looks like. Oh, no, I have to go back to the room last time. Sorry. Scientists challenge the belief that modern cephalopods evolved through their present form here on Earth and propose the possibility that those we see today are the descendants of creatures that arrived on Earth frozen in an icy comet. Its large brain, sophisticated nervous system, camera-like eyes, striking features that appear suddenly on the evolutionary scene. The paper says, pointing to the possibility that this great leap forward in complexity was due to cryopreserved squid and or octopus eggs crashing into the ocean on comets millions of years ago. Okay. The idea is that, and I'll actually engage with the chat here in a minute. The idea is that octopuses were on another planet doing their octopus thing, thriving, swimming, shape-shifting, changing colors. You know, the things that octopuses do. I assume they were in an ocean, something like a saltwater earth ocean, because they were able to just come over here and fit right in. And then something happened. Something happened where the octopus went from the ocean in some planet. The one I looked at nearest to us is 4.2 light years away, which traveling at 15,000 or 15 miles per second. Think about how fast that is. 15 miles per second. It would take 70,000 years to get here. So let's assume that it's at the closest, the very closest habitable planet, which, I mean, what are the chances of that, really? It's probably a lot further out than that. Sitting there in the ocean. Now it has to go from the ocean into space. How does that happen? The only couple options I can think of are they hitchhiked, right? Like a Heaven's Gate. Remember that group? Like, yeah, the comet's going to be coming by here. At any time, the comet's going to be coming by here. I have a really good octopus impression. We got to time it right. And we got to fly out of this. We got to get a steaming head start. Catch the comet. Because we need to get out of here. And I hear that the comet is going to the Earth. Next stop. You think my octopus is good? Watch my comment. Next stop, Earth. Are you coming along, octopuses? How does the octopus get from the ocean to the comet? How does the octopus get from the ocean of the planet it's on into space? Can you go to space? You're on the land. You're not in the ocean. Can you go to space? If there was a comet flying by and you wanted to catch the comet, could you catch the comet? How does an octopus in the water at the bottom of the ocean on the nearest planet that's 70,000 years away at 15 miles per second get on the comet? Okay. It's pretty unlikely, right? What would be the odds? Somebody's got to be a probability guy. When we have the resources, Chloe, remember this, I want a probability guy on staff. And I want to say, give me the odds that an octopus could catch a comet. I want the numbers. Give me the numbers. I want to see how many zeros that is. Oh. You gotta give me these numbers. I want to know if there's a snowball. Is this a snowball's chance in hell? Okay. It's basically no. It's basically no. Right? It's basically no. Okay, so that's not going to happen. The octopus in the water isn't going to catch. It's not going to catch the comet. Okay, so what's the next option? Something called ballistic panspermia, where the object hits the planet that the octopus is on, right? It hits the planet, and it fractures off a piece. If you don't believe me on that one, I'll look it up. Life started on Mars. Ballistic panspermia. I know this because I did a video on it on my TikTok last year. Some scientists believe all life started on Mars. As crazy as it sounds, blah, 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 blah. I know I've covered this on the show too. Special case, the overall theory of panspermia, where life on Earth began somewhere else and traveled or was planted here, has some prominent supporters. Let's review the facts. First, no one knows where and how life came from. Research also studies unique qualities that Mars and Earth share compared with other planets in the solar system. They're just desperately grasping at straws here. Mars was like Earth. It had burned out its natural resources and electromagnetic core sooner. This too makes intuitive sense. Of course, as a smaller ice cube melts faster, blah, blah, blah. Scientists study genomic ways. The idea coalesces around the last universal common ancestor, meaning the single cell from which all the rest of cells on Earth descended. All living things have some of the most recent common ancestor. Think about humans, say horses, the most common ancestor. That's the phylogenetic tree. Luca is different, requiring more backtracking to much further past. Could it come from Mars? Mars panspermists point out that Mars likely had surface water before the Earth. Life to be expecting there. Here it is. If pieces from Mars were knocked off via ballistic panspermia, where an impact breaks off pieces that fly and strike another planet, they could have landed and flourished in the right puddle on Earth. Okay, this is option number 2. Option number 1, they catch a ride with the comet. Option number 2, the comet blasts their planet. Deep impact style. Boom! But it's a glancing blow. Or something happens where it allows the octopus to fly off the planet. Maybe the octopus turned into the comet. Whatever. That's the other one. The only other one I could think of is that the planet blew up, just like Alderaan in Star Wars. Darth Vader nuked it, it blew up, and that's how it happened, right? These are the kind of things that would have had to have happened for this to happen. Now, I think if you aren't totally married to this secular fairy tale, you've probably asked yourself a pretty important question here. If it couldn't happen here on the Earth, why could it happen on Octopus Planet? We have pretty darn tootin' good life conditions. Can't happen here. Why can it happen there? That's a legitimate question, right? They have better evolution. They have a better evolution. They have a better evolution process or program on this other planet. Like, we have GoBots evolution and they have Transformers evolution, right? We have like the cheap one, like the Walmart one, and they have like the Kohl's one or whatever. I don't know. I'm fancy. Williams Sonoma. It's like the Room Essentials thing that I buy, or like a $500 hutch. They have better evolution. Do you see the theme here? It came from Mars. Mars is like Earth, but it's older. Totally happened. Makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, I want to show you this because I haven't done this on this. I've done this before, but it's been a little while. Here's the poll. What's the verdict? Yes, I think life came from Mars. It makes sense. No, I think life started right here on Earth. I'm going to go with no. Let's see what the verdict is. 50% of the people think that life came from Mars and a comet, something hit it and shot life over here. 46% of the people think that no, it started here on the Earth. That's encouraging, right? I wonder if we could do a test on the, did octopuses come from space? Oh, it's 54%. It just updated. 54%. That's without my vote. 54% of the people think that life started on Mars and a ballistic incident happened. Something hit it and knocked life to the Earth. And probably 54% of the people, or more, this is a couple years later, probably more, it's probably like 70% of people now say, yeah, no way an octopus could evolve here. It evolved from space. And then a comet flew by and they swam real fast and they shot out of the water and caught the comet. Or something hit the planet and it knocked off a piece and it became a comet. This event didn't kill the hardy octopus. Maybe it became like a chameleon. It was like, you can't kill me because you can't see me. Didn't kill the octopus. So it's got better evolution on Transformer Evolution Planet. How long could it have been evolving there? That's weird. I mean, this came to the Earth 4 billion years ago. The universe is 14 billion. It must have had double plus good evolution because their planet had to form really fast, like super fast. And then evolution had to kick in and kick ass. And then the comet came and the octopus, whatever. Hitched a ride, got to the comet, didn't kill it. Ballistic panspermia, whatever. Got on the comet. That's part of the problem. Now, the comet the octopus, or octopuses, I assume it wasn't just one valiant hero octopus. It was probably a tribe of them. They had to exist on a comet hurtling through space. We have no idea. I mean, if we were using comet fictitious dating, we could give you a really specific speed that it was going at, but we obviously don't know that. So let's say it was going 20 miles per second, and it only took 45,000 years. The octopus would have to live on the comet, have survived however it got to the comet, after super evolution planet, super transformer evolution process, hitch a ride, get on the comet. It's going 20 miles per second. Didn't kill it when it caught there. Maybe it merged onto it. linked up to it. And then it stayed on the comet for 30 to 70,000 years and lived at 400 degrees below zero with no oxygen. Look at this. There's another planet. This is great. What a ride. Did you bring lunch? No? Did you bring any water? I miss water. It's going to be a long trip. This is going to be a long trip. Just going to be on this thing forever. I mean, what? Washington lived 200 years ago, 250 years ago. Darwin lived 250 years ago. This is 70,000 years. Okay, it's a very long time. Then, this, I would say, fairly miraculous event with, all the super evolution and hitching the ride and being able to live for 70,000 years and not freeze to death and have water and all these things. It's pretty remarkable, right? You'd say, like, Chloe, get our statistician on this one. I want to know the odds of this happening. So, it all happens. Let's just give him, Dan says, buy evolution bucks. What does he say? I can just buy the chances of this happening with evolution bucks or whatever. Use my evolution bucks. This happened. The universe is a huge place, okay? It's huge. What did it say in the one article? It's entirely huge, and to think that we're relevant is obviously ridiculous. We're not relevant. It's huge. It's a huge universe. What are the chances? Let's get the statistician on this. What are the chances? Again, I'm giving you that their planet formed super fast. They had super evolution. The octopus hitched the ride, got on the comet. What are the chances now, and I'm going to get my statistician on this, that in the vastness of space, that the comet or exploding planet or the ballistic event just happened to be on a trajectory with the Earth? The Earth is very small. It's very big from where we're at. It's very small from from the planet of the octopuses, planet octopi. It's very small. I was talking to Dan today. We were melting down. We were both melting down about this. And, I mean, it would be like, just to give you an idea, we have a country road. Route 1 is like 5 miles from us or something, 3 miles. And it would probably be a lot smaller of a target than me trying to shoot a penny from 5 miles away. That's my guess. It'd be a very hard shot. I can't see the penny. I can't even see it. I guess I'm taking the shot, Lee Harvey Oswald. Add a little bit of a fun thing to this. The penny isn't stationary at the end of the road. It's on a car going 66,000 miles per hour, or however fast they say the Earth is going. So now I got to take the shot. 5 miles, hit the penny, and I have to not only hit it, the target, I have to time it like a quarterback. Okay? And even if I do all of that, if this happens at not the right time on the Earth scale, Dan pointed this out, if it happened 5 billion years ago, there's no Earth. It just flies into a rocky, whatever they think the Earth was, ball, growing fireball, whatever they think the Earth was. If it hits, 3.5 billion years ago, too late. I'm not going to get the octopuses to evolve or whatever happens. Okay. So, Transformer evolution, hitch the ride, don't die in the thing, 70,000 years. perfectly on track. I mean, this had to happen at the moment, like at the beginning of the universe. Like, I don't think that the comets make adjustments in air, right? This thing is gonna hit it or it's not. It's gonna hit the Earth or it's not. You get all these things, you hit the shot, whatever. Have you ever seen anything hit the Earth? It's a very, we have a very good defense system. It'd be very hard. You'd burn up. Oh, maybe they don't believe there was an atmosphere. Okay, so the momentum. How does, if you hit an octopus driving in your car, if it was crossing the road, why did the octopus cross the road? To get ran over? I don't think it would be okay. I don't think it would be okay. It's going to be hitting the Earth at 20 miles per second. It's not going to survive the crash. I guess my point is it's not very likely, okay? It's not very likely. And you know why? You know why they're coming up with this theory? Because it's more likely than it happened here through evolutionary processes. This is why I tagged the atheists. Again, my issue, give my belief validity. Any agnostic that comes in my life and I go, what do you believe? And they go, we don't know. It could be God. It could not be God. I don't see evidence, whatever. You know how polite the conversation always is. Always. But if you tell me that I'm believing a fairy tale or that my beliefs suck, in 2022, you judge me because I believe that something created the octopus and you want to use evolution, which will never explain it, or this whole thing, great. You're not right. If best case scenario, both of our beliefs are equally valid. Best case scenario. You do not have the high ground. You do not have the intellectual high ground. You do not have the scientific high ground. I don't care what you're programmed to believe. Okay. We, aliens in space, woo, and the monkeys rafting, that happened too. I'm not going to cover that though. Hey, we were able to finish this thing in an hour and a half. That's cool. All right, guys. I think what I'm going to do is click off. We'll put this up on YouTube if you missed it or you came in late. Check the bio, check Linktree. We'll try to get it posted tomorrow. And then I'm going to jump out and probably go in to hang out with the VOR family, maybe get into a debate or something on TikTok. So we'll go straight to TikTok Live. Thank you, everybody, for coming. YouTube-specific viewers, sorry I'm not posting more. I would, but YouTube hates me. So we make a video, we put it on TikTok, we get 25,000 views minimum. I put a video on YouTube, it gets 180 views or 200 or whatever. So if you're not on TikTok, I understand that. That's where the action is. Also in TikTok, I can put copyright music up there, no problem. YouTube, like the video I put on tonight has the E.T. Video from Katy Perry. There's meanings for why I would do that. Can't put that on YouTube. So I do put these on. We should put something up there about every 2 or 3 weeks. Sorry I don't do more of it, but we do the lives on TikTok. If you do download the app, come find me because we do 12 hours of lives per week on there. So, all right, guys. Thanks, guys. I will be back on in about 5 minutes, sometime between 10:40 and 10:45. We'll put up the backdrop and see what happens. I usually do the outro music, but I think I'm just going to end it. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you back on TikTok in a little bit. Come to the after party.